he came, there's been a change. I no longer am the same. Hey. This is the Maine-J Show. My name is Jermaine, aka Maine-J, and this is Maine-Chat. And today, while I may be a week late, don't try me, judge your mama, as people say, I definitely had to jump on the bandwagon and talk about the iconic, legendary Clark Sisters biopic. All right, let's dig on in. All right, first and foremost, Lifetime. You finally got it right this time. You finally got it right in my lifetime. So I just want to say kudos to y'all for doing this and for actually doing it justice. Because when I first heard that y'all was doing a biopic on the Clark sisters, I was just like, I don't know. Lifetime be messing up with these biopics now. There'll be a whole bunch of misses, ain't no hits. But this one was a success. It was done great. It was a hit. So kudos to you, Lifetime, for getting it right. To these three queens, I gotta call y'all out. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, ha. Queen Latifah and Queen Mary J. Blige. Thank you all for taking on this project and wanted to make sure that it got done with class and with excellence and all that type of stuff. Kudos and blessings to all three of you. Now let's get in with this cast. Kiki, how you doing, girl? How you doing, boo? Kiki. Kira Shear played her mom. Great acting. Shalia, singing sister, played Dorinda. Great job. Big fan of yours. To my girl Raven, who played Denise. Girl, you did that. Okay? Great job. To Angela as well. Great job on playing Jackie. My favorite part was when, that's why I got me a nursing job, so I can still get a check. Messing with y'all. I know that's right. Get your money, sister. And Christina Bell, who played Twinkie. Great job as well. You are a singing sister. Big fan of yours from your Ziel days. Now let's talk about Ingenue, who played the maestro, the doctor, the queen herself. Maddie Moss Clark. You played the heck out of that role. You embodied it. You played it. You did it justice. Kudos to you, and you deserve every award. She deserves something. NAACP, Image Award, Oscar, she deserves something. BET, well, I don't know, she needs to get at least 2 or 3 awards for that role. Throwing that shoe and chewing that gum, you deserve an award, girl. So congratulations and kudos to the cast as well. So now that I've given the congratulations, I do have a couple of critiques. They're not bad. I'm not complaining because I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I cried, I laughed, I was angry, I wanted to fight, I sang, I lifted up my hands in worship, I rejoiced. You know, I was ministered to and witnessed to and took a few things out for myself that I can apply to my life. So this is not like a bad critique. Lifetime, this is for you. Because I don't want to say it's on the Clark sisters. I want to say mainly it's on you. I speak on behalf of the population of Kojic, Pentecostalism, apostolic folk, just the Christendom, and even R&B, people who were raised up on the Clark sisters and that Clark sister sound. We wouldn't have minded if the movie was longer. You could have did 4 hours. We wouldn't have minded staying up. We ain't doing nothing anyway in this quarantine, but staying in the house, we could have had the 4 hours. Or if it was because of timing, you know, we wouldn't have minded a series like what they did with New Edition. Okay, we'll give them 2.5 hours on Sunday. We'll give them another 2.5 hours on Monday. We would have accepted that. Because we as fans, there was a lot that was missing. I'll get into that. So next time you guys are doing that biopic, even though you got it right Lifetime, you know, when you're doing iconic legendary groups, we want it all. Now, if you're going to do a DVD or a certain special when it's maybe deleted scenes or whatever the case may be because you couldn't fit in the time slot, we will take that. Whatever you got that's extra, we'll take it. But going forward, we want more. Now that I've gotten that out the way, once again, I wanted more because of the music. There was a lot of songs that weren't sang in the movie. One of my favorite songs was, "Is My Living in Vain?" So I would have loved to hear that song being sang. But what I would have loved to see is just the transition of how figuring out the sound as a musician. Many people who have sang in a group, sang in choir, sing on the praise team, you know how it is when new singers join or people leave or you get new musicians or a new director, all that stuff. They went from having 5 sisters to having 4. And while on the album where y'all see in that scene when she leaves, on the Conquer album, I believe, Denise was still on it for a good chunk of the songs. So you might notice the difference in the and maybe the sound in the album where you hear 5 sisters and now you hear 4. But I wanted to see maybe how Twinkie went from maybe, okay, this type of song I would normally give to Denise. Let me try giving it to Jackie or Dorinda or Karen. Or, you know, this is a note or this is something that I would give to Denise. But now that she's no longer with us, how do I figure out this new blend for just the 4 of us? I would have loved to see as a singer-songwriter how she did that. And then I would also love to see, once again, when they went to the Miracle album, where it was just Karen, Dorinda, and Jackie, how they transitioned with that sound. While they've been sisters and they all been singing together, you know, they were accustomed to Twinkie giving the notes. They were accustomed to Twinkie writing the songs, giving the parts, to now just 3 of them. So I would have loved to have seen that dynamic. They showed a little bit of it in how Karen, the baby sister, was like, this is just not the same. My sisters, all of our sisters are not together. I want all my sisters. Karen's like me, I'm the youngest child. And while me and all my siblings don't always get along, I love it when we're all together and we're all laughing, rejoicing and singing, doing. So I felt that as the youngest sibling, Karen, I felt your pain in that one. I related to that. So I would have loved to see that. I would also love to see the family dynamic, how Dr. Maddie Moss still try to keep the family together. You know, she's still your sister. She's still my baby. Those are still my grandbabies. You know how mama get. Yeah, she got loud. Yeah, she got flipped, but she's still my baby. Those are still my grandbabies. And I would love to still see that dynamic, how, you know, Denise still came around. There are some videos where Dr. Maddie Moss Clark was being honored, and Denise came and sang with 5 of the boys. So I know she came around some. So I would have still loved to see what happened in how they view it now. Because when Denise left, it's based on the biopic, they took it more personal than it was a business decision, you know. And I wanted to know, like, how now they view working with family and how to not mix personal with business. Because it wasn't like Denise was saying, I'm leaving my sisters. I don't still want to have a relationship with my sisters. I just don't want to sing in this group no more. And that's fine, naturally speaking. You know, how many of y'all have quit a job or moved on to another job because you didn't like working for the company? You may not necessarily have beef with some of the people there. You just want, this job is offering more money, or maybe this job is more close to the home, or maybe, you know, this just isn't what it was fit out to be. So I want to figure out something on my own. I want to raise my kids. I want to go to school. I want to do something else. So I want to see how they, you know, figured that aspect out, and to, you know, okay, this is not a personal decision against us or attack against us as her sister. This is just a business or personal. She wants to do something else. And maybe how that played, you know, and maybe how their eyes open up and how they do business now. Lastly, I would have loved to see see how they supported Twinkie when she went solo with these 2 albums. To my left, I do know that Karen Clark did some background vocals on, I think, both the albums, or at least one of the albums. So I would have loved to see that dynamic and the support that they still gave her even though she left. Then I would have loved to see some of finally Karen. You know, we went from the funeral to 2008. But I would have loved to still see, you know, finally Karen, then Dorinda came out, or finally Karen, the Clark sisters were on that. On Dorinda's solo album, the I'm Still Here one, the Clark sisters were on that. Then Twinkie came out with Live in Charlotte and, you know, Live in Detroit. The Clark sisters were on that, and even Twinkie's son was on that album, the Live in Charlotte. I know some of Twinkie's nieces and nephews. I know some of Jackie's children were on there. I'm not sure if any of Denise's kids were on there. I would have to double check the credits. I do come from a time where we bought CDs, so I would love to, so I think some of Denise's kids were on doing the background as well. And then Jackie came out with an album, and then Dorinda came out with a couple more albums. So I would have loved to see a little bit more of the music, because we're not just Clark Sister fans of them together. We're Clark Sister fans of them and their solo stuff. Come on, somebody. So I would have loved to just see some more of that, because we, once again, when Karen came out with her second album, a little bit before then, that's when she had, I guess, the surgery, and they gave her a 2% chance. So I would have loved to just see, you know, just some in-between time. And even in between their solo albums, how many times did they reach out to Denise? Did Denise ever reach out? You know, any of that? Did, you know, did Denise ever go to any of Twinkie's? I know Twinkie and Denise are the closest. Did Denise ever at least go to any of Twinkie's live recordings? You know, at least hers. You know, Karen's the baby. You know, there's a lot of things that maybe as an older sister you don't fault on, at least the baby. You know, what's that dynamic like? So I would have loved to see more music, and then I would have loved to see when they got to the One Last Time. We don't take it for granted that we are here today. Just know that we are blessed and highly favored. I like living this kind of life. Hey, I'm living a blessed life. Now I would have loved to see that. And even then, they still got some more albums after that. But it was just some of them. I just wanted more music. I just wanted more music. I wanted more singing. So next time, once again, Lifetime, when you're doing iconic groups and they have music in a catalog and that type of stuff, make sure, you know, you try to get it all in. If you got to do 2 or 3 days, then that's fine. Another thing that I wanted to see as well, Maddie Moss's homegoing service. She trained a lot of people. She trained them up. Okay? I would have loved to see, you know, somebody play Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Vanessa Bell Armstrong sang at that. I would have loved to see somebody play Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin sang at that. Rance Allen sang at that. You know, I would have loved to hear some of her songs that she contributed, maybe sang at the homegoing service. Like, we wouldn't have minded knowing what we know and who she helped out and who she trained. We wouldn't have minded all of that. Lifetime. We wanted the music. So I would have loved to see that. Lastly but not least, while I'm praying for the restoration and I'm praying that Dr. Maddie Moss's dream stays alive, she said that don't stop singing. I want y'all to sing together and stay together. But I'm pretty sure she had that with all 5. She started out with 5 daughters. And I just hope that one day they all can get together and sing, tour. Because while I love the sound of the 4, I love the sound of the 3, I love it when 2 of them sing together, I love it when they're all singing solo, it's something about that sound of the 5 sisters that cannot be duplicated, it cannot be replicated, all those different words. It's just the Clark sister sound. Denise, Jackie, Karen, Dorinda, and Twinkie. That sound cannot be messed with. Cannot be topped. That's the standard sound. So, but one of the things that kind of bothered me as well with the sibling dynamic is, yes, it's 2 different marriages, 2 different fathers, But even like with my own family, we're still sisters. We're still brothers. I don't go saying, well, I'm the oldest this one because my father's different and you're the oldest this. We are siblings. So I wonder who made that okay. I don't think it was Dr. Maddie. I think it might have been Elder Clark, because even in that scene where he said, "You're not even my daughter." You know what I'm saying? So maybe he made it okay because he was married. He was the Clark. They were in that house, his house, I guess. He was the man of the house, the man of God of the house. But I just wanted to see maybe how maybe Dr. Clark said, okay, I understand he's my husband. I understand that I have 2 marriages. I understand that, Denise, you're my oldest daughter in this marriage. Jackie's still my oldest child. Y'all are still sisters, and there is no oldest this one. You can be in charge of our brother because you're the oldest one from that, and then while I'm in charge of Twinkie and Dorinda and Karen because I'm the oldest. I don't know, that's it sounds like 2 households in one. It sounds divided. So while we know that Denise loves her sisters and she's not lying. Somebody who comes from a family where there's more than one father, she's not lying in that aspect. We got different. Well, me and my siblings got the same last name, all different fathers. But she's not lying. But still, just that separation. Me and my siblings know we all got different fathers, but we are a united front as siblings. Even when we do argue, even when we do disagree. So I just want to know who made that aspect okay. And then once again, looking back at when Denise left the group, just seeing how they handle personal from professional. Because once again, even though Denise left the group, she didn't leave her sisters. So I wanted to just see how maybe that played out now, how they look back at it, and how they make sure that when they're in the studio or when they're going to sign contracts, this is business. This is not personal. We're going in, even though we're sisters, this is business. And maybe looking back at how maybe they reached out to Denise and say, okay, we were wrong. Even though we looked at it as you leaving us, blah, 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 blah. You left to do something else. So, and maybe how they reached out. And I know that Denise and Twinkie had a close relationship. How come Twinkie never asked Denise to get on the album? Or how come, Denise never really sang after? They all had solo projects. Denise, how come you didn't do no solo? At least people were still checking for you, Denise. You had some leads, you had some songs, you had some fans. How come you didn't, even if you didn't come out with a solo album like your sisters, how come you never came out with at least a song or 2 here and there? So these are just questions that I still have as a fan. But once again, thoroughly, and those are the things that I would have loved to see in the biopic. But nonetheless, it was great. And I would have loved to see the grandchildren. Like I said, Angel, I know she sings. Hey, boo, she's a sweetheart. I know, once again, Aaron sings, another one of the Clark brothers, all the Denise children, they sing. So I would love, maybe Lifetime can do a documentary and we see a little bit more on the singing from the different generations. Have the Clark brothers on there. Have, Jackie's children if they wanted. Let's have some fun with this legendary family. And I think that's my spill of what I had to critique on the biopic. But once again, it was a great. I loved it. I watched it multiple times and I love it. I love the Clark family. I love what they contributed to the gospel world, to the music world. Many people listen to y'all. You got all the standard. And I'm praying for the restoration and the healing of your family, because I and a lot of other fans, I watch the videos, I watch the YouTube clips, and they're all saying, we want Jackie back in the group. We want Jackie and all 5 of them to sing together. But even more so than y'all singing together, we want y'all to be healed. We want y'all to be restored. We want y'all to be united front. No family's perfect. There's going to be division everywhere. But even in division, and dividedness, family still comes together. I know relatives I don't rock with, but if they call me and say, hey, cuz, they trying to jump me or something like that, we put that as, oh no, if I'm not even trying to jump you, fight you, and you're my cousin, I got beef with you, there ain't nobody else gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that there's still some united front for the family, and there's some unity and some reconciliation, because they are people of God, they are women of God, and they walk and operate heavy in the spirit and in the anointing and singing and in preaching and in ministry. And I would just love to see that. And that's my spill on the Clark Sisters biopic, the Clark Sisters family. And that concludes Maine-Chat for today. Please subscribe by clicking the red button on the bottom of this YouTube channel, Jay Johnson, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Maine-J Show, which the link is at the bottom of the video. And leave your comments and email me at themainejshow at gmail.com if you want me to talk about anything, or get on here and just have a good time with y'all and go live, or whatever you want to talk about. I'm willing to do it. Thank you, and God bless. Peace.
Since he came, there's been a change. I no longer